Hello, guys and girls. So, if you have made it this far to this section, I want to really appreciate you all for believing and sticking around with me. And this tutorial is my eighth slide in my Python tutorials for beginners 2026. So, our eighth topic is, can you find duplicate words in an item, either from a list, a string, a single word, or a sentence? So, I did not want to add this topic, but during my time in college, it's finding duplicate words has always been a very difficult thing for me. So, and I just did my research and found the best way to find duplicate words, and I also wanted to share it with you guys. Okay, so let's get started. So this is all the thing we're going to be covering in this tutorial. Checking for duplicates, so you can see all the things. Then with our practice, a little bit of practice, so you can look into the practice, and if you can get the practice now, right now, without watching this video, then you are very good to go, and you have a very good knowledge in list. And sorry, I mean in finding duplicate words. Okay, but if you can't, sorry, you have to stick with me to the end so we can do it together. Okay, so now let's get started. So these comments are just going to be showing you everything we're going to be covering in this video. So I just hope you stick with me and watch to the end. So check for duplicates first in a single word, then in a full sentence, and then in a list. We'll use nested loops and if and else statements to do this. So firstly, we're going to check in a single word. So I did it step by step, so I won't get confused and I will understand what I'm trying to do. Okay. So the first one is to find in a single word. So let's say we'll call it single word, because I like making my variable names very specific. So single word, we'll just call it, I need a long word. I'll call it programming, since you can see there are duplicated word in it, M and many stuff. So now we want to check for duplicate words, check for duplicate letters. I'll just zoom this a little bit. Alt Shift plus. Yeah. So now to check for duplicate words. So this is the duplicate word we are going to be working with. So to check for the words that are repeated two times, like this M and M, what I'm going to do now, inside this my section, check each letter with all the others. What I'm going to do, firstly, we're going to use a nested loop. So pay close attention so you don't get confused. So firstly, we use a nested loop, and it's very confusing, but I just hope you understand it. So for I in range of learn, so we are using the learn function to go to iterate through the length of the single word. So for I, if you have not checked my loops video, make sure you check it out before coming to understand it, or else you're going to get very confused. So for I in range of, we are going to loop through the length of this programming word, this word right here. So we'll loop through it. So for I in range of it, we'll now, then the next thing we're going to use is to find duplicate words again. We're going to do for J, or anything you want to say. For J in range of, what we're going to do now is I plus 1. So what this means is, if it appears like plus 1, like there are many things you need to understand in this. It's very confusing, but this is the best way to find it. So now we have made two items that we're going to check. So the first one, we go through the whole words, the PROGRAMM. So the second for loop we did inside the nested for loop, we go through the words again, but this one starting from R. So if it appears two times, don't worry, if I'm done, I'll explain it more better. So I plus 1, so it goes through I, then it's like added 1, then we'll now add of the length of that single word that we are working with, this single word right here. So we'll now do it. So the single word, the length of the single word. So what we're going to do is, if single word at index of I is equals single word at index of J, it means uh you now print duplicate found, where. So the duplicate will be found, we'll say that the duplicate was found at index of what I. So okay, take a deep breath. Sorry, I mean not word, like single word I. Yeah. So take a deep breath, and if you think this is confusing, hold on, I'll explain it much better for you all now in just a few seconds. So for I in range learn of words of my single word right here. So it loops through this single word and gets every element in the single word. So the next thing we're going to do for J in range, then we added 1 to it, and now go through each length of each word again. But this time around, not starting with P, we'll start with R, O. So anyone that appears 2 times, it will bring out the word. So now we now use our if and else statement. Then if the single word at index of I, so since it's going, let's say if it's go for this P, then in the J only to go for this R or something like that. So if the single word at index of I is equals to the single word at index of J, since J is adding by 1, so that means if it reach here, you see M, then if it checks again, M by 1. So it say, oh yeah, there's a duplicate word found. So that does basically all you need to understand. So if I should run this program, you'll see duplicate found M. So you can see duplicate found M. Is there any duplicate found for R and G? Yeah, so that's it. I didn't even notice the duplicate for R. So you can see it say that there is duplicate for R because see there's R2 programming R, there is 2G, so duplicate. That is just the very good way you can find duplicate words in a single word, so you can see and those things. So that's just a very good way you can do it. So that is the way I find that is a very cool and most easy understandable way you can find your duplicate word. So if you see our program, you say duplicate found, R is duplicated, G is duplicated, and M is duplicated in this word. So the next thing we are going to be working on is that just what you need to know in finding duplicate word in sentence in a single word. So I'll just cancel this and let's move to the next one. So the next one we're going to be working on is duplicates in a sentence. So duplicate in a sentence, let me type let me call it a sentence. Why I'm making my variable name descriptive is so you guys will have more understanding of what you're trying to do. And then I'll make a sentence. I'll call the sentence, this is a test sentence with test words. So this is a test sentence with test words. So you can see that there are duplicate words in it, right? This is a test sentence with test words. So there are duplicate words in it. So what we are going to do now is to find the duplicate word. What I firstly, that's why I did step-by-step solution we're going to do. We'll split the sentence into words. So now I will now split it because we need to find like each word that is different duplicates in it. So I'll now call this variable each word. Each word is equals no, let me just call it all words. All words. It equals, then I'll call a sentence dot split. So we'll split the sentence, then split the sentence. Now it's inside like a list or something. So we'll split the sentence into a list. Then now we'll now compare it with each other to check if there is duplicate word. The same way we did for the first one earlier. Just you know where we're going to. For I in range length of, so length of all words like this, because now the all words is splitted, so we are going to be working with it. So for I in range length of all words, then we'll now do for J in range is a nested loop, so we are writing it inside another loop. For J in range I plus 1, then with your comma, then you put length of all words. So the same thing. So now what we're going to do is if all words at index of I is equals all words at index of J, then what will we do? We'll print duplicates word found at where, then we'll now say all words at index of I. So that's basically it. So the same way we looked through a word, a single word. Now we can still do the same thing in looking through a sentence to find for duplicate words as well. So you can see how we did it. The same thing. Find the length of the word because we have splitted it into a list or something. Then we'll do for J in range. You added one to it, so it can start looping from a different element. So we'll now check if all the words at index of I is equals to all words at index of J, then it's fine. It's print out the duplicate word. So if I should run this program, hit F10, so you can see duplicate word found test. You can see duplicate word found test. So that's how to find duplicate word. So you can see our duplicate word here is test. It appeared 2 times. It appeared 2 times. Yeah. So it's our duplicate word. So that's basically it for finding duplicates in a sentence. So the next thing is duplicates in a list. So to find duplicate words in a list, what we're going to do basically, okay, I'll just cancel this out. I'll just cancel this one out. So I just kept on doing this. So the same format, so you guys can stick to the head and make you guys understand it more better. So finding duplicate words in a list. So I'll call the list items. Items is equal. So the items in the list, the elements inside the list are apple, banana, and let me say, yeah, let me say orange. No, it's a string. So I'll say orange, and let me see another apple so we can get like duplicate words. Then and mango, and then banana, like this. Okay, so now you can see we have like duplicate words. So to find the duplicate words in this my list, what we're going to do is we're going to do the same way we did the others. We'll do a nested loop as well. So I now do for I in range of len of items, like this. So for I in range of len of items, everybody know what else to do. For J in range of I plus 1, and then len of items. So this len method is just going through the length of the list. So it's iterating through the length of the list. So and then so for I in range length of items, and using a nested loop for J in range this I plus 1, then length of items. So we now use our if statement. If items at index of, oh, my system crashed a little bit, okay, is equals items at index of J. So now we'll print duplicates words, duplicate items found at no, duplicate items found, then comma, and now say items at index of I. So that's just the same way we were doing in our sentence and our words, and same thing in list as well. So if I should run this program, you'll see duplicate items found apple and duplicate items found banana. So you can see how apple appeared 2 times, banana, now banana appeared 2 times again. You can see our apple right here and our apple right here, and banana as well. So that's just basically, sorry, I made a mistake here. So now banana as well. So it appeared 2 times. So that's basically all you need to know. Finding duplicates in a list, in sentences and words. So this is the best and basic way that you can do it, and it's very easy, the easiest way, and it's very easy to understand as well. So the next thing we're going to do before we enter our practice is, you can see, if you notice, we no like specify any condition. What if there's no duplicate, what will happen to our program? So now let's use if statement to show when no duplicate is found. Okay, so I will just keep in that for the end. So let's say we have a list of colors, and we'll call the colors, I will say red, blue, green, and let me just add yellow because yellow is my favorite color after blue though. So then these are the colors. So to use if and else statement to if statement to find duplicate word. Then we have to, in case there is no duplicate found, we have to like return something. So firstly, what we're going to do, uh, we'll call a boolean value called duplicates found is equals false. So duplicate found is equals false. So if, what else are we going to do? So firstly, we have declared a variable called duplicate found equals false. Then we'll now give loop through it, and we'll call for I in range len of colors. You know what's coming through. So I in range of colors for j in range I plus 1 and len of colors. And then if colors at index of I is equals colors at index of j, then what will it do? We'll print uh, duplicates found at colors at index of I. So if you're following along, you will, okay, we need our comma right here, so I'll add my comma right here. So that's it. So if you're following along, this thing will have stick to your head now, because I've done this thing like up to 4 times repeatedly. And if you're coding along, I can be specific and very sure that you have gotten an idea of what we are doing sense. So then after printing the duplicate word, then we'll now call the duplicate found is equals true. So we'll change it to true because initially it's false. So we'll change it to true. Okay. So then that's not the end. Now we're going to use another thing, and we're going to do if not duplicate. So we're using negative boolean logic. If not, so if we don't find any duplicates, we'll print let's print no duplicates found or something like this. Okay, so basically now if you look at our list, there's no duplicate. So if I should run this program, you see no duplicates found because there is no duplicates in this list. So if I should add another extra, let me say red or something like this, and hold on, I don't know why it went slow. What's the problem? Red, yeah. So it adds red. So if I should run this program again, it say duplicates found red. Duplicates found red. Okay, this one that is still showing apple and banana, but it still works. So if I should add extra, like let me say, let me change this red, and maybe let me say the duplicate is green, and run it, you see duplicate found green. But if I should remove this green and there is no duplicate words in my list, then it now use the other one that we did, print no duplicates found. So that's basically everything you need to know in duplicate to get started. Okay, so play around with it, do cool stuff with it, and that's just what you need to know in finding duplicate words. Okay, so this is our practice exercise. Firstly, I'll read it out for you guys. Ask the user to type a sentence, split it into words, use nested loops to find the duplicate words, print all duplicates if any, and if there's no duplicates, print all words are unique. So I'll give you guys time to do this yourself, and no external resources, do it yourself, read the questions again and again, try coming up with a better solution, pause and do it yourself. Okay, great. I hope you guys did something. So if you got a cool answer, or if you got to meet all the whole instructions, then you're very good to go. But note, I might be giving a different solution to it, but as long as you met the requirements, you're very good to go. So then the first requirement is ask the user to type a sentence. Okay, so I'll call it normally user sentence like this is equals input, and I'll say enter enter a sentence like this. So we prompt the user to enter a sentence so we can check what the duplicate words in it. So firstly, if the user now enter the sentence, we'll now say we'll call it split user word is equals, so split the user sentence dot split. So you see, I like making my variable name very descriptive. So after collecting the user's inputs, entering the sentence, then we split the word so we can find the duplicate. So initially, then we now call we'll call a variable called duplicate, not duplicate, duplicate found. What was that? I think I mistakenly duplicate found is equals duplicate found is initially, let's set it as false initially, then let's loop through the words and stuff. So we ask user for a sentence, then the second requirement is split it into words, so we splitted it into a new variable. Then I just declare the boolean variable right here. So now say use nested loops to find duplicate words. So to find duplicate words, that's it. So we now use our nested loop for I in range len of words. For I in range len of not words of split user word, I would then we'll now do our own again for j in range of I plus 1 and len of split user word would be, then we'll now say if split user word at index of I is equals split user word at index of j. So I'm very sure that you guys will come with this exact solution because that's what we have been working with. So I'll now print uh, duplicates found and split user word at index of I. So that's it. So now these are the duplicates. Then we'll now change our duplicate found to be equals true, like this, true. Okay, so the next thing is then outside we'll now call if like outside, not inside here. So if not duplicate found, then we'll now print what is the requirement. It said we should print all words are unique. So I'll just copy this and we'll print it down so we can meet the requirement. So I'll print it all words are unique. So this is basically what we need for the practice. So this, if you got this, derives this answer, that's what we need for this practice. And we ask the user to type a sentence, split it into words, use nested loops to find duplicate words, print all duplicates if any, then if no duplicates, print all words are unique. So I'll reduce this a little bit and then let's run the program. Shift F10. So enter a sentence. So now let me enter a sentence. I'll enter I am Charles, like this. So you see all words are unique because there's no duplicate word. So if I should run this again, I will say I am Charles and I am 20 years old and I am 5.8 in height, something like this. And if I should run it, it say duplicate found. I appeared 2 times, then appeared 2 times, and I and other things. So that's it. So it's printed the splitted words in it. So it have and I and as well. So that's it. So you can play around with it, use very cool way. Maybe you can come up with other methods you can use and get your hands dirty and code and many other things. So it's just a very good topic that I came up with, finding duplicate words. Okay. So if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Remember, your feedback helps me create better content for you all, and I hope I see you in my next video in functions, none, and scope.